Beto and Greg are telling you all a story of hope for this next generation of car guys that is coming before, because you have people like Beto that are pouring into other people, right? Good stuff is brewing, good stuff is coming, right? And it's on its way, and he's evidence of that now. I can only imagine what the years ahead of us are going to look like when we get to see the flourishing lives of people that we've been able to sow into. Just like I'm sure you get to enjoy, Greg. I'm sure that's one of the greatest rewards that you get to enjoy in life, is seeing those things. But Beto is starting to see great fruit and not been toiling for as long as many other great veterans and people that work their whole life to get connected with. And it's because I think that he has mastered the ability of being able to pour out and constantly have a window to pouring into him. He is always taking in information. He is always letting somebody else shine and pour into his flow. And it's never cramping his style. It's never stepping on his toes. If it makes him better, he wants it. He is Beto. You know what I'm saying? He is going to get better constantly. That is going to be his flow. And because he makes that connection generationally, he is another one of those prodigies that allows this business to have great hope that great connections are going to keep being made, and the future is going to be filled with actual fast trackers. I think the speed limit's about to get turned up on what it takes to be successful in this business, and fast trackers are about to have to be the standard to be successful if you're going to compete with where the digital age is going. That's just my opinion, my 2 cents on it. But Beto is leading the charge on this train of solutions, and I honor you both for what it is that you have, and the wisdom that both of you bring to the table. But look at this, folks. We got generations here. I love it. I love it. Okay. So that's about 4 sips in.
Yeah.
So
he's good. So, folks, there's always a second question. And I know Lou's going to ask you guys this one, and I'm really interested in this question.
Yes, of course. We are all interested in this question, because fast trackers are inside of this business for a short amount of time, but they came from somewhere. They were doing something.
Absolutely.
We have people on our floor, and I'm sure there's stories all of you have. Somebody was either working, cutting grass one moment, the next moment they're making 6 figures, slinging metal, learning how to put their life together in a whole new way of thinking, right? Beto has come from someplace else. Beto, where do you come from? What is your background? What were you doing before the car business, and how did that lead you to the car business?
Did you just
what? I mean,
it's a combo.
From my early days, I served restaurants, worked at P.F. Chang's, worked at Olive Garden. I come from the restaurant business, did that for a few years. Then my 20s came around, and my 20s were a little rough. I do come from a little rough background, but you know what? Things go on in your life, and you learn from them. And I had the opportunity of changing my life, and what I did was I decided, I'm going to get into the car business. That for me was, the car business pretty much saved my life. Sold cars for a few. What I did teach myself is, I always wanted to excel, and when I put my mind on something, I'm gonna go ahead and go all out and try my best. So I taught myself how to, desk some deals after work. Sometimes I had good mentors, and one of our main guys for the company, his name is Randy Oswald. He taught me a lot. But before the car business, I'll tell you what, it was a lot of different type of things that I did, and I'm just happy to be where I am right now.
Beto, you forgive, focus, and flew.
You don't understand, that whole story was a forgive, focus, fly story, bro. That's exactly what it was.
That's the story. Thank you so much.
You did. That's what you did. In order, it was you forgave all that stuff.
I was trying to find
you always
music.
fly,
bro. I love it.
We were sitting back here when you were on the solo screen. We were just all sitting here. It's like, this is so perfect right now.
Yes.
So, man, great answer, man.
Thank you so much.
For real.
Yeah,
Folks, so you're not inspired by that?
It's
Oh, the delay. Oh,
you know,
the delay.
it's definitely a blessing to be where I'm at right now, man. You know, I love my family. I love, you know, that I get to meet people like you guys, Greg McCoy, and it's just a whole different. I want to say a 180 from 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I get to enjoy everything I get to enjoy, and I'm just really grateful for sure.
Yeah, well, it's something to be said when you are able to go from 6 years ago not being related to the car business whatsoever, but having a skill set that you developed by being exposed to many people, right? And was able to instantly translate that, which I think a lot of that is also personal, right? You have a natural talent inside of you to be able to be the communicator that you are and motivator that you are. It's part of your overall purpose, right? But you're doing incredible things, and this is mainly why we want people to hear this. That folks, you can be. There's so many great people with great potential that need to just be just turned on to knowing that they have that great potential. I'm sure to make the pivots that you had inside of your life, you had moments of seeking or just receiving great information that made you shift just a little bit to refocus where it is that you're going. And that's a constant application of a forgive what I didn't just get right, or where I wasn't doing what I needed to do, and let me not carry the weight of what anybody else did to me. You know, they're not going that weight isn't going to get me forward. You know what I mean? It's not going to help me. Let me focus on what it is that is beneficial and is going to help me, especially now that I have people that I'm responsible for, right? People that I love and want better for than I've ever had. You know, it's time to get focused, right? You find your focus, you then have somebody that mentors you. You have multiple mentors. You have some great men that have poured some great stuff into you. And I'm honored to even know some of them. You know what I mean? But these people really took you in as family, which is, I think, also key for good, solid flourishing of your abilities, is to have that proper mentorship flow. You know what I mean? In order for you to properly create the fruit that you're supposed to be
I learned
creating.
how to
Booyah.
fly.
That's right. And then from there, you said, all right, baby, I see where I'm going. You tell me where to go. Where do I need to go? Right there? Got it. I am not held back by nothing. I'm flying. You know what I mean? Boom, I'm out. You know what I mean? Where do I got to go? Oh, you know what I mean? But you can't do this if you're like this and you're weighed down. You know what I mean? You got to wipe it off. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just my little thought.
It's true though, man. That's
my 2 cents.
It's a lot of people, you know, you've had mentors, we've had mentors, everyone, and it's great. It's great to have mentors, you know, and then you get to become a mentor. And what that is we talk about it all the time. It's a legacy. So these legacies, like Greg's left a legacy with a lot of his people, you know, you leave it with your children, but you also leave it with people, your coworkers. If you really are a true leader, you're leaving a legacy inside them where they pass on to other people. And eventually that legacy lasts forever. And that's how what you do and what you do right now with your people on your team, with your friends and family, that stuff will only be remembered if you do it the right way. People do not want to do, or if you do it completely wrong, you might be like, you know, remember too. But the best way to be remembered is in the light, not in the dark, right? So, you know, if you keep doing what you're doing, and it's limitless, and you know that, and all you guys know that, and it's an amazing thing what you can do with life when you've let all those chains come off your shoulders and you're able to just focus on what you need to do and fly. So I love that mantra Lou has.
It's a great story.
It's
Such a
us.
great
You know,
story. That's real life right there.
You know, it's great that you know, it's great that I get to see everybody that I come see every day. And you know, people know that I'm here temporarily, and it's like, where are you going next? I want to go with you. That's such a great feeling to have when you do have that impact on other people, where you're able to, you know, have someone to follow you, you know. And I've learned that from who I learned from. You know, I was upset that at one point, you know, my leader was not with us anymore, but we got him back, and Greg knows who he is. And those are the type of people that you want to see, you know, and it's great to have those people that would want to follow you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You know, that's a great way to go into the next question, actually. So the question I would have, number 3 for you, Beto, is that, you know, we all have been in this business. And we were talking about mentors and stuff. And there's somebody, and there's always that one person that probably stands out. I know it's like going up and getting an award and saying, hey, these, you know, you want to tell everybody that you care for them. But there's always one, maybe 2 people that really influenced you deeply in this business, that really helped you make that corner. You know, like, hey, make this right turn. It's going to really change your life, right? And they're probably still in your life, maybe not. But who would you say that one person is that really inspired you to be the best version of you as a car salesperson?
You know, I actually have a few. You know,
It's always hard to narrow them down.
I know that me getting into the car business was something that I didn't know I was going to be good at it, you know. And from the beginning, you know, when, you know, selling cars, you know, 30 cars a month, 20, whatever it was, when people would tell me, you know what, I think you got something, you know, I think you can do a lot of things in this business. And for me, you know, and this was a few years back, when I was selling cars was his name is Randy Oswald. You know, he's one of the leaders of the company still, and I think that he told me that I had something, you know, and to follow it, you know, and to learn more. Um, I think about Greg McCoy all the time. You know, even though we don't talk a lot, but he's told me, and we've sat many times, and to tell me, hey, you have something, you know. I would say these 2 gentlemen have taught me a lot, you know, in different aspects, in the car business, and I'm lucky to know both of them. And I know that, you know, Greg, with his busy schedule, he's always a phone call away.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, and I have, you know, the great support from my senior management, from my owner, you know, that I don't know anyone else but Dealer for the People, Premier Auto Center, and I'm here at El Paso Auto Center now. That they gave me a lot of trust, to come out here and run their store. So I have a lot of people that back me up, and I'm grateful for every one of them. And I still have a lot to learn from these people. You know, I'm still really fresh to the business. But one thing that I do have is that I do care every day when I come into
I
work.
love it. Oh my
So,
God.
you know, caring, that's the number one thing that I
Love
can
it.
tell any of my employees. You have to come every day and care about what you're doing every single day. When you care every single day, everything else, just falls into place. But I would say these guys. I mean, I don't have a lot of people that I look towards, and these gentlemen have taught me a lot. So I love it. I love it. Keep on teaching me, Greg.
I love it.
Hey, let me
That's great that you.
let me point something out for everybody's listening. Here's why he's here's one of the reasons why Beto's unique and different as a fast tracker, and will continue to be. 2 things. Number one, he's confident but humble. But more importantly, you know, he is becoming a mentor to a lot of people. But do you hear what he's still saying? He still seeks mentorship. I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing this
Yes.
I've been doing this 35 years, and I still have mentors that I have to talk to. The day you stop seeking guidance and mentorship from people is the day you start dying. And I'm just going to tell you, you can learn. I've learned lots from all of you guys. I can promise you, every dealership I go into now, I make a point of learning 1 or 2 new things instead of being the old crotchety car guy, 35 years, that thinks I knows everything and talks down to everybody. Let me tell you, if you have a humble, confident mindset that enables you to keep learning and keep being mentored as you mentor, you're going to last a long time and very fast and be very successful in this business.
100%. Hey, my mantra is this, man. This is our mantra, actually. I should say
Keep
that.
growing.
It's keep growing. It's one of our shirts. It's our inspiration shirts, right? So I believe in that so much. It's crazy. Every single day, my goal is to be better than I was yesterday. It's the constant growth, constant. I don't care if it's just a little bit better. I could be better than I was 2 seconds ago. And that's what keeps me motivated. I don't get disappointed in myself because no matter what disappointment I put out, I have tomorrow. I have the next day. I can keep getting better. I just need to learn from that. Yep. And that is so crucial and so key to become a good leader, to keep growing. Because you're right. Once you stop, you're dying. You're dead. Life is over. You don't have no more fun. Everything is done. You don't have any purpose anymore. And what's the point? That's when people start dying. And that's when you're right.
Greg McCoy would be the first person that I heard ever lay out the term to constantly be growing 1%. To wake up every day and be growing at least 1% every day, right? The minimum.
That's correct.
That's where I first heard that from.
Yeah.
But we have.
Let me throw this at you, Lou, real quick for people that are listening to this. One of the fastest places, if you don't have mentors, say you're not sure who to have mentor, you know what I did? Every bank rep or a manufacturer's rep for new cars that came into my store to visit me, they had to bring 3 ideas that they seen, 3 good ideas they saw somewhere else. That simply asking those questions for people and learn from the new people coming to business, because they'll see something you don't see.
Come on.
100%. 100%. Because you have to listen to everything, because you never know. And you're so right, man. And it's so, you might miss the next $1 million idea. You might miss something, you know, and it's out there. Innovation is constantly happening. Evolution is constantly happening. And if you're not getting with it, you're going to be out of it very soon. And that's great. Really wise words, Greg. Seriously, man.
Solutionary.
Honestly, great words.
Right there.
You put some sauce right there.
Put that in your cup and sip on it. Car guys and car gals. You know, we can talk technique and other stuff, but there's these characteristics that have to be inside of you to be a successful person at being a person, right? And there's a word and a term that Greg used earlier. I don't know if you guys missed it, but there's something else about the genuine premium brew that is Beto, and that is he has impeccable character. And he is one that can be trusted, and those that can be trusted can carry the heavier weight, right? And seem as if they lift it up effortlessly. But all that they do is properly apply the principles and the processes to do better and to lift up heavier weights until they can do so. And because he has the proper integrity, he doesn't falter when a lot of weight is put on him, right? And he's multiplying this. And that is an incredible thing that is so valuable for the friendship that we have. I mean, again, I don't get to always just pour my heart out, but this is our show and
we can do what we want to do. That's right.
So, but
that coffee, baby.
But here, I mean, understand there's so much honor that I feel flowing through the airwaves of the digital lands right now, guys. You know what I mean? There has to be an honor that takes in the information from the wise and properly distributes it for others to be wise. There was a clog up, and it was the plague of fatherlessness, right? There was a clog up that happened where people didn't want others to advance past them, so they never poured out the good stuff they had inside of them. And then they thought they had enough good stuff inside of them until it went sour because they were no longer connected to the vine. Well, when that fruit gets plucked, it's not growing anymore.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's going the opposite way. You know, so it's important that you stay connected. You stay properly in a place where you can constantly grow. If that can get any metaphorical, I don't know. But great fruit and great trees always come back and are producing fruit in every season, actually.
Because you have good roots.
But right, the root system is all in place. But the berries that I was showing you guys earlier, right? They come back every year. There's going to be a great buckets filled event that we have. People come from around the area, walk the land, and they pick up these berries. But they're going to be back next year. And my job is to cultivate and keep the soil doing what it's supposed to do. But if the process is put in place, it's going to keep producing fruit. And every year should usually yield a bigger bounty if I nurture it properly. You know what I mean? And I didn't plant those. You know what I mean? I'm just harvesting something that someone else planted, right? And you have been honoring that. You're honoring the vision of another man. It's his business, right? You're taking that and making it yours and being successful with it. That's how managers truly help their dealerships get to that next level. They take that piece of ownership to say, I am going with this mission with you, just like an army. Just, in any case scenario, you have that character. You guys have creeds. These guys got these creeds that they say that are inspiring to me as the soldier that I am. You know what I mean? That they will beat their chest and say their creed. Give me a creed. I want to hear one of your creeds. One of those. And cue the creed. What are the actual sayings that you say at the dealership?
Beto, what do you guys say at the store?
Beto.
What's that?
What's the thing? What's the creed that you guys say at the store?
Creed?
Yeah.
What's your saying that you guys all say on the showroom floor?
The mission.
Oh, our pledge, man. We have our
pledge.
Here. Yes, sir. We have our pledge. We are dealer for the people. Yes, and we recite this pledge every single day in our meetings, and that's what it is.
That's awesome, man. So, pledge, creed, I get it. Way different.
So, what is the pledge?
We're the dealer for the people.
We're the dealer for the people. Yeah. All right.
So, Lou, question number 4.
Go hitting it.
I love it.
Okay. So, all right, Beto. We are brewing up some funny solutions. But one, it's just family. We're all family here. And we love being able to be in the cafe and just chop up shop. If we were a month ago, we would have been probably chopping up shop, having meetings and all that. Next month, we would have been doing that. But the situation is the situation. Bars don't open, and a lot of car guy events probably won't happen if they can't open bars. So we're going to keep opening up the cafe for great solutionaries like you and brewing some solutions. So I want to talk about the key thing that has been what it is that Beto has been able to use inside of his professional career to make sure he goes to the next level every time with picking the person to trust his mission with. So in the recruiting process, right? So the exposure that we get to people is the exposure we get, right? The more that you meet, the more that you get, the more that you understand, right? If you have a short amount of time that you've been exposed to people in the business, like Beto, you have to apply key things to figuring out who's going to run with you, right?
Right.
Beto, what has been the thing that you have looked for? Because a fast tracker always has to have his team, right? You got to have the people that you're running with. So what has been a key thing that you have looked for inside of your people to pick the right ones to run with you or fly with you?
It's funny that you asked me that, just because, just like I came into my business being a salesperson, and then went on to Des Deals, to now running my own store. I was able to look, have a person that I have here now, which is my manager right now. He started off selling cars for me 2 years ago, and I would call him a fast tracker himself. We were, as you guys know, I'm here temporarily, and this guy has grown so much in the past couple of years, where, my owner was actually here just a few days ago, and he told me, you know what, I think that I feel comfortable with what you have going on right now, to where once we do our next move, I feel that you're ready to go. So that was it was great to see from this guy. It's he reminds me of myself, and we're the same age, but he is a guy that has been so trusted in the past 2 years that I've been here. He is a local guy, and his name is Daniel Robles. He's been doing an amazing job for us, and this is his town. And I've loved, from when, it's funny because when I bring on new people, I sometimes show them a video, because I used to do record videos of our training. So just a little bit of backstory before I moved from Tucson to El Paso, and I think we trained for like 2 months straight before we even opened the store. And this guy Daniel, I never forget, we used a for the people approval process, just like what you guys do, and he fumbled the clipboard, dropped it in front of a training customer, and it's just so great to see from that to where he is at now, and I feel really comfortable with him, and it's just great to see, definitely.
Wow.
And
man, I love how you honor
that's
people.
Exactly
man.
what we're talking about.
You're such a. That's what I'm saying. The way you talk about people, your face even lit up when you talked about him.
Yeah.
And and it's such a, and I don't mean that in like a weird way. I mean that in like
in true
you
family,
could tell that you
know?
just feel like, man, I love how you feel inspired by this guy too. Like you can see how he's coming up, which pushes you a little bit, and then he inspires you because you're doing it right. If you're teaching him how to do something and it's working really well, you're doing it the right way. So you're a great coach that way. You're a great coach when it comes to coaching your guys up, So man, kudos, bro. That's a really awesome story.
And I've learned from him. Yep.
Every day. You have to. You learn from each other all the time, man. And if you're not, then you're definitely, like we talk about, you're not growing no more. You're dying. So
I have to say that being a father, there's way more that I've learned from my kids than I think my kids learn from me. My kids are so smart, and I'm always learning from them every day. And being that inside of any relationship where you are looking to this one to learn how to make them the best that they can possibly be. And that type of relationship gets so reciprocated when they discover how great they can be and they apply it. Then they're, the fire has started. And then you're just nurturing it and watching it blaze, and it's so inspiring. But that's the same thing that we should have with the relationships that we have around us. People like you that are wanting to invest, wanting to pour out what it is that you're getting and into them, amplify that. That's great brews, great seeds. What do you got on that, Greg? Where does your heart go on that?
Well, no, and I agree. I think that when you're looking for that person to be, your Tonto and the Lone Ranger, let me tell you, when you're going through that I look for people, and a lot like what Beto has said. I've been fortunate enough to see some great people become great managers and great salespeople. There's some people are just great salespeople. They really know what they're doing. They don't have that aspect of the manager. But the big thing I look for are passion. Because if they're passionate about what they're doing, one of the reasons, again, Beto is successful is he's passionate. So what happens is you create that passion to everybody else. You can't help but want to be around Beto.
Right.
And again, people seek that out. People seek that positivity out. And so when you see people that are also, like I said, not afraid to ask questions, and not also, the other part you got to look about Beto, again, fast trackers rules is he is, if you listen to him, he doesn't just talk about Beto. He talks about all his people, and all the people have meant something to him in his life. But he's still very confident. I've worked with him. He's not, being a suck ass. What he's being is truthful and saying, hey, listen, this is why I'm successful. I'm gonna help other people be successful because I know if I make Daniel successful, I get to grow even more so. And I'm gonna tell you, for when you're a manager or salesperson in this industry or any industry, what happens is owners and people that are your bosses look for that characteristic in people, because it means I'm not just taking all the credit. Look what I did. He's saying, look what we did as a team. Look what Daniel did. And when he does that, he'll grow himself exponentially even faster.
So true.
That is
wisdom. I love the answer, Greg, man. And that's, like I said, you're definitely a man of integrity, and I love that. And I love how you talk about other people. You just did the same thing. You didn't even realize you did it, right? And it's so true, because that is what a great leader does.
You bet, buddy.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about you like that, Beto. Seriously, man.
It is. I mean,
the first time I ever met you were just
so genuine.
Genuine since day one. You always ask the right questions. You're always there. You've got a very great demeanor about you. It works really well.
Sponging.
And you're a sponge, awesome, man. But yet, you're such a humble guy. A lot of people who are in your position, they get so cocky and so and that's why they end up not having longevity. So you're a fast tracker. There's a lot of fast trackers that fast track, but there's people who they just like a firework, it blows up, it's over. You, on the other hand, you have longevity. You're going to have it because you have a lot of other characteristics that people don't have. And that's what's going to take you far in this business, man. Just so, but always stay this way and you'll always be that way. And that's what's going to be great about that, man. I look forward to all of us hanging out 10 more years from now, talking about, you know, all the great rewards we've had with people. And, you know, it's going to be fun, man. And it's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And, you know, I'm really honored to have you on the show today. You know, so it's really cool to have you here. I know we've been friends. We've been talking about this for a while, but this is the right time
really
for it.
Doing it. Yes.
Our fast tracker series, you know. And Greg, man, it's awesome having you on the show, man. Because you know, obviously, you know, having an opportunity to be like you being a mentor there for us when we were there, being able to talk to you, sponge as much stuff from you as we can. Just like, oh my God, it's amazing what you have in that bald head of yours. You know, it's a beautiful thing, man. And you have such an energy about you too, man. So, you know, I know we're honoring Beto a lot, so we're not trying to like not talk about Greg, because Greg,
right, folks,
and I know you're not here for that, Greg,
but
I want you to know we are honored. We're gonna have a show that honors just Greg, guys. Just remember that. So that's coming very soon. But you know, right now, you know, we're obviously here. We're all talking about Beto because Beto is a fast tracking son of a gun.
Yes, he is.
And I'm looking, like I said, 10 years from now, it's who knows. So, and I'm really excited to be, you know, friends with a guy like this that we can learn from too. And I'm honestly, I learn a lot from you every day. I learned a lot from that coaching group we did. I learned a lot of things that helped me get better as a manager too. Helped me slow down certain things in my mind, the way I treated my salespeople, because sometimes I would get a little harsh on them really quick, but I learned some stuff from there, the way people thought. And I was like, you know, I'm going to try that. And it worked. It worked really well. So I always do the same thing, Greg. When I go somewhere, I always try to make sure that I learn at least one or two things to take back with me so I can try to apply that to my life and make it better. And it's a great way to think. And it's the only way to think. And if you do that constantly, we're going to keep growing. So man, great.
So before you take over for this last question,
okay,
I do want to highlight a little bit that's going on here and all of the fun stuff that's brewing, folks. It's that you have the wisdom of a Greg McCoy. You have the wisdom that has been implanted and is now brewing inside of this fast tracker that's coming down the lane, making some incredible things happen, right? And these two are creating a generational fusion of power that is beginning to start electrifying the car industry. I believe that the young and the old, the past and the new.
Shouldn't say old, it's experienced.
There's some stuff that's old. There's some stuff that's old. When I say old, I mean wisdom.
Hey, I got white beard.
Is the carrier of many years of wisdom way before him, right?
But this is what's great about Greg. This is why people who are watching the show right now need to watch it. I know we're highlighting Beto a lot here, but if you pay attention to what Greg's talking about, this is how you need to understand. This is how you need to be at all times, constantly looking even at somebody who's been in the business new as somebody that you can learn something from. So if you guys can constantly do that, you'll see that you'll always be somewhere at a place where you have an opportunity to be a mentor and be mentored. And just constant growth stage, man. And Greg is a huge highlight of that. So I can't wait to have you on the show. Just, you know, when we get to highlight you, it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about your past and stuff too, man. Yeah. But anyway.
But showing that there's a key thing. So we know about Beto and how he loves the customer and he does what he does for the sake of the customer.
Right on.
Then he sees the growth inside of other people. A legacy is turning up inside of that. These two people have seen and are still seeing a fruitful harvest of the legacy seeds that they've been pouring into other people for such a long time, and it's going to continue to grow. And because of that, they are brewing solutions. There is a new wave of people that are coming through that are just like all of us solutionaries that are trying to find a way to help, but at heart it has to be for the others, not for just ourselves, for the other, caring for the one that we're looking at, the one that we're talking to.
That's it. The
ones that we are actually toiling for. It is inside of the others that we find our motivation, we find our excitement, that it's not about us raising ourselves up. It's really about us taking each other and giving them the best that we have. The best version of us is what we owe them, even if it just grew 1%.
I love that you said that. It's not it's us, you know, all of us. The car business, the business needs to be better. Everybody needs to be better. And if everyone does, this business becomes so much easier and better for everybody. And most importantly, for our clients out there, because like, once again, you know, I know that we have to build our teams up, but without those clients, what are we building up? For nothing. So you got to treat them right. We got to make them want to come to a store and be comfortable at a store. We want to make them feel like they need to send all their friends and family there. We need all that. And man, you guys are both people who understand
honor
that
it so much.
and we honor that. And that's why we need you on the show. And we're so glad to have
Thank
you
you.
on the show. So let's get to question number 5. Man.
Let's get to the question number 5. But this entire brew has been brought by
Think
Ad Group. You can get your information from Think Ad Group by going to thinkadgroup.com.
That's right.
They are a group of solutionaries that are finding a way to help make sure that you find your customer at the median that they want to be found at.
Man.
If you got more questions about it, check them out. Check out Justin, check out Derek, and go to thinkadgroup.com.
That's right.
Because that's who's bringing you this brew.